You can read gazillion books about negotiation and raising your price. You can learn how to negotiate with terrorists like the FBI, or you can watch gazillion YouTube videos about how to deal with objections and raise your prices. But here's the truth. When it comes down to the money time, when talking to the client, none of that is going to work. It's all bullshit. And let me explain why. How do I know? Because it actually happened to me. I read all these books. I watched all these, YouTube videos, and none of that works. Let me start off by sharing actually a personal story of how none of that worked for me. So very recently, we're living in this really nice house and we were renting it. And a couple of months ago, the homeowner told us that he's not going to renew the lease. He actually wants to sell the house. So we had to come up with either we, buy this house or we, leave to another house. And the truth is we were looking at alternatives and there's nothing where we live here to rent or to house. There's actually not a lot of alternatives. Also, we don't want to move into a completely different neighborhoods. We have the kids at school, so we didn't have a lot of options. So we started negotiation and I was trying to play out all the tactics that I learned in all of the books. And I read a lot of books about negotiation. I've talked a lot about negotiation on this channel. I tried to employ all of them. I was doing my research. I was coming out planned on how I'm going to, manage the calls and everything. And at the end of the day, there was a really huge gap between what we wanted to pay and what, he wanted for the house. And I tried to, explain, well, but other people charge different prices and this and that. And I tried all the tactics, but at the end of the day, he didn't budge and I had zero alternatives. As I said, I couldn't move to a different house. I couldn't rent elsewhere. And so I had zero alternatives and I ended up paying way more than I was planning or budgeting to pay for the house. So what does that mean for you? It basically means that the less options that you have, the more you are constrained in a negotiation. So at the end of the day, all you need to know about negotiation is the person who has more options wins. That's it. If you have 3 clients want to work with you and you have the options to pick between them and you can only take 1 client because of that's your availability, immediately, with the rules of supply and demand, you can raise your prices and, you can choose between them. So you have the options. And that's exactly how you're going to raise your price. The more options that you have, you're going to have, the confidence and the ability to just raise your price. And if it's not good for one client, maybe it's good for another client. So the number one role or job that you have as a freelancer is how do I generate options for myself so that when at the end of the day, I get to the negotiation table, I can raise my price and they won't have an option. They would have to say yes because they want to work with me and I have a lot of other options. So how do you actually do this? Well, there's a lot of ways to do that. The first thing, the number one thing that I think most freelancers don't think about is that if you have money in the bank because you saved up money because you're still working part-time or something where you saved up kind of a buffer money, you have now the option to say no. Now that's an option, right? You don't have to close the project. You don't have to, agree on a lower price than what you want. You can raise your price. You can say, that's my price, take it or leave it, because you now have a valid option. Not taking the work, you'll be fine. Of course, the better alternative is have other clients as options. And to do that, you can do a lot of different things, right? You can talk to your friends, your family, your network. You can start meeting new people to create new options for yourself. You can go out to events, you can hang out with people online, you can share your work online. So all of these things, all of these actions, at the end of the day, their main goal is to create options for you. And this should be, you can track this as a number. You can call this options. Some people call it leads or whatever. You need to track the number of options you have at any given point so that whenever you're talking to somebody, you're always very confident. It's okay. If this doesn't work out, I still have options. And this will give you the confidence to go and raise your prices. And then you don't need any tactic. You don't need any negotiation. You don't need anything. You'll just know it's not a good fit. That's what I want. And if you're not cool with that, that's good. I have other options. And that confidence will make them understand that, oh my God, there's only one of you that can do you, but you have other alternatives. And so if they want to work with you, they have to pay. Now, of course, that if you can do better design work, if you have a stronger portfolio, that's going to help generate more and better options for you. So it's always good to improve your skill as a designer. And by the way, check the resources below this video if you want to improve your portfolio and your design work. That being said, I hope you now understand what you need to focus on. Let me know how you create options for yourself in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.